And we got to the day of the first video shoot.
I remember I was so excited because my mom has just arrived a few days before the video shoot, and we literally didn't sleep at all. We were so excited. And also we relied on our children to help us a lot. The only thing we could do before the video shoot, we also went to the gem store with my mom to choose the gems that she was supposed to use for my special necklace. And that's about it.
And I was naive again because I saw that...
that the shoot will take us only a few hours, right?
Yeah, because it was just about 1.5 minutes of the script that we had to film. So
and
I thought how long will it take to film that? But with all the preparations and everything, we spent from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. I think.
Yeah, we were barely done, and only thanks to the help of our children we could actually manage that.
So, the piano studio room is all empty and ready for the first video shoot. For starters, it was a bright day and it wasn't a room in the basement, and we had to film that scene in a dark room. So, with the help, who helped whom? I helped the guy who did the cinematography for us, Ben Hoskin, and the first thing that we did, we completely covered the huge window in that studio and everything with some black screen here and there. And we're setting backdrops to make it look like it's a dark room somewhere at night or twilight or whatever, while it's actually pretty bright outside. It's middle of the day here and there, and then it took some hours to after we darkened the room, it took some hours to put the proper light. And Ben, he was so much attentive to details, like move this light over here. No, I don't like that shadow. Like, okay, move this light a bit here. Now it's better. So he really spent some time on
adjusting the light.
Yes, just adjusting the light. Yeah.
So while Ben and Artie were adjusting the light in the room and outside of the room, girls were busy doing the makeup.
How's it going? Nice and steady.
Feel sleepy a little bit, too relaxing. I love how with the makeup you can do so much. You can even change your personality or the roundness of your face. So I really enjoyed that transformation. I had to become still a regular woman, but on the edge of being a witch. My hair really helped me. I didn't even have to brush it. I just had to do barefaced minimal makeup, and that's it. I was ready.
Oh. No problem. Oh,
hey, sound man, don't fall asleep on the keyboard.
Do you need something else to take it, or?
No, I just need to...
Well,
I just have to make up my mind. That's all. Okay.
And then came the filming phase, and I was really amazed to see that beast of a camera, the professional camera, Sony FS7, in action. Well, I saw it on some, on internet, on some pictures, but advertisements.
It's
but
not the same.
No. And look at this monster. It's definitely not my toy. And you really can't compare the quality of the image, the recorded image, to what we had before with our toys. Of course, there is some consumer camcorders and there is really some professional camera, and there is a huge difference between both. Another thing that I want to mention, I do remember that it was quite special, is our sound operator. Come here. Here he is. this little guy spent the whole day in the basement operating our playback. Well, the initial plan was to use some laptop and bring it to the same studio, but of course there are some last-minute glitches and something doesn't work. So the only option that we had is actually to play the playback from our basement studio. But the piano studio was on the first floor, so we had to have someone to push the button when we needed. So we used a set of microphones and headphones to communicate to each other. It didn't always work. Sometimes, or actually quite often, I had just to use that older way to communicate. It's called screaming, like, "Kyle, please press the button," something like this. Yes. Because like we filmed scene by scene, so we had to play the original song. So Milana would sing along or play along, and we had to film those specific phrases. So I asked Kyle to play those particular phrases, like start, like scroll to 2 minutes 30 seconds. Play, sound. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Great. So
Thank you.
thank you. One particular thing that I would like to mention was that Bewitching thing, where you sing the words, "This is where I cast the spell," and this is where you actually bewitching. This is where you creating your magic. And I didn't want it to be literal, because I know that you don't like those literal images. Yeah. So I wanted to have this witchcraft to be seen in your movements, in your actions, not in your costume or the way you look. I wanted you to leave those actions, not to use any makeup or whatever, to leave, to feel them, to make those bewitching movements. And you kept kind of playing on the piano.
Well, I'm a pianist after all. This is my reflex. I sing instrument, I play it. Sorry.
Well, but for this particular thing you had to act. You weren't a pianist anymore. You were a witch, and you had to act.
Well, eventually I told you, you know what? Do it yourself.
And this is what I actually did. I pushed you away from the keys, and I sat myself on that piano bench, and I started moving to show you like what I actually want to achieve. And Ben actually captured that on camera as well. It was a nice bit of behind the scenes. So it shouldn't be on the... Kyle, stop! So it shouldn't be always on the keys. You can go away from the keys, and it's like you are bewitched.
And then we filmed the scenes with my mom, which was so much fun because she doesn't speak English well and she's very shy about it. So we had to translate her words to Ben and Ben's words to her, so they would communicate with each other. But luckily, by the end of the shoot, they could understand each other without the translation anymore.
That was fun to watch. And yeah, after that there was a scene with the necklace breaking apart. And this is where I thought about a bit of vandalism. I wanted to cut that necklace to have those gems falling down on the keys.
But I was so much against it. I loved the necklace and I thought, what else can we do? So my mom offered actually a smart idea. She would make a spare necklace and then...
No, it wasn't even a spare necklace. She said, like, why to cut it if she got spare gems? So...
Oh, right, yeah.
So we didn't really need to cut anything. Now, that was a fresh idea indeed to use those spare gems instead of cutting the necklace. And I thought, okay, let's let's pour those gems from a cup on the keys. And then physics came in. Those gems were just bouncing everywhere. They were just, and that was a dark room. So we filmed one take, and obviously
Lost all the gems.
that take didn't work. And then we had to find all those gems, and they were everywhere in that room. Well, kids really helped us to collect them for another take. Well, 5 cents per gem. Yeah, they were pretty enthusiastic about finding as many gems that as they could. That was fun.
Yeah.
And yes, and then it took not 12 hours, but close to it, taking everything apart. But that was pretty much a good insight into what we're gonna get on our big video shoot in October with dancers and everything. So yeah, but I had to worry about this later on. At that day, I felt really some feel of accomplishment because we got really nice footage on that day.
Okay, I need a couple more tries, 1 sec. Okay, back to first position. And action. Okay, let's try it again. And action. Good one. We'll try and get 2 more good ones like that.
Is that a good spin?
Yep. And action.
Ah.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Just let me know when you're gonna go.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you could see that.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
point.
good.
So 1 sec. So.
Oh.
Okay. And action. I killed that one. Let's try again. And action. Okay, one more time. Action. One more time for me. It's too slow. Okay, and action. Okay, let's do one more for safety. That last one was good. And can you start looking down quite a bit? Yeah, that's a nice frame to start on. And action. All right.